And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm reviewing The Truman Show, released I think in 1998. Stars Jim Carrey, who gives another legendary performance here. I should point out right off the bat, gives a great performance in this movie. And it's widely regarded as one of the best movies of all time on many of the heavy critics lists, which, you know what, I take those lists for a grain of salt, but I still have to give credit where credit is due, and at least name these. I watched this on Paramount Plus. I was actually really bored at work. I was all by myself, and I had a long time at work, so I decided to log in my Paramount Plus and see what the hell they got for movies. And this one popped up, and I thought, this might be fun to watch. And I definitely am glad I gave it a watch, and I got a lot of thoughts. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? First off, I think it's a great Jim Carrey performance and a cool movie concept to work with as well. I like how they really dive into the theme of it by, his whole life being a show. I really like how they dive into that with like subtle hints to it being a set, like the light fixture falling down, or like the sun changes in weather, or maybe some switching in the casting and whatnot when he's just out and about, but also like shooting the movie through what looks like a shot through, like, you can tell it's through a camera lens, and instead of just it being through the actual camera, it's like a camera into a camera lens, which I think is really, really cool. They played it up well. They did really well with like making the set inside the set and really diving into that, which I'm really glad, like I said, that they did, because it really sells the point, which is good. I am surprised that the character starts to become self-aware as fast as he does. I think like in the first, this isn't a very long movie by any means. I think it's like an hour, a little over an hour and a half long. But it's like the first like third of the movie, like around that mark, he starts to become self-aware that like, oh, this isn't like actual real life. This might be like a TV show, and that to me is a little quick, in my opinion. I didn't think it was going to jump into that as fast as it did. They still I think worked out with it pretty well, but there are some points where it does kind of drag along, where like it jumps back to being like he's not self-aware anymore, and then jumps straight back into him being self-aware and kind of progressing, but then going backwards. They do a little bit of that maybe drags it out a little too much. I think maybe having it before it becomes self-aware, maybe that be a little bit longer, closer to like maybe the halfway point, or maybe just to like a quarter mark. Well, not a quarter mark, maybe like the one, like 2/3, not 2/3, half. I don't know, somewhere on the halfway point, instead of the third mark. They also did just a blatant kidnapping, which I think was wild. And I also have to wonder if the Lego movie took any inspiration from this. Now, that might seem like a very outlandish claim right off the bat, but hear me out. The Lego movie, it's Lego guy, and he's going around and he's doing his thing, and his normal daily life, just kind of the same thing over and over again, but then he starts to become self-aware that there's something else going on, and he actually ends up escaping that world and figuring it all out. Same thing here. Living his normal life, becomes self-aware, starts to figure out what the hell is going on. So it's kind of weird. They came out 16 years apart, but it is kind of weird to wonder if maybe they took some inspirations on how to structure it and how to write the characters and all that. If they did that, it'd be I would like to know. I haven't really heard anything about it before, but definitely having watched both movies, there's definitely a lot of similarities. And this for my review, it's like, oh, you've seen the movie? Where's your review of the Lego movie? There will be a review eventually, or saving. I want to rewatch it again just to get some more thoughts on it now. And then it's in a marathon, by the way, as well. That's why I haven't watched it yet. But don't worry, eventually I will. But also, I have to talk about the ending. I think the ending is really, really good. I had very low expectations for the ending, especially they got lower as the movie progressed. I was just kind of expecting it to be either they brainwash him again and it just he doesn't figure it out at all, or it's like a he kind of just goes out into the real world and he just either just blends in or something really boring and underwhelming. I wasn't really expecting anything crazy, but how they did the ending was excellent. There was just a lot of badass moments, especially with him going across the water and sailing, and then finding the exit and stepping outside. And that last line as he exits the set is awesome. It's great. I never knew where that phrase came from before, but I definitely know where. But that's where it came from. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I didn't say it right, I don't think, but everybody knows that line, and it's really cool how they, because I should have known maybe that was going to be a line that he was going to use. They set it up by him saying it a lot throughout the movie, but I personally was surprised. Like, I did not think that was going to be how it was going to end, but it was awesome. Great ending, in my opinion, to a pretty good movie. It's sometimes the movies that I don't have any expectations for going in because I never really knew it existed or really didn't hear any opinions about it or that kind of thing. Those are, I think, the best, or the ones that I guess have the most potential, and this one definitely did exceed that potential. I was genuinely surprised with this movie, and I really did enjoy it. It's not perfect. I definitely think some of the acting outside of Jim Carrey is a little not great, and they definitely looked like some parts were a little more cheaped out than others. And it definitely, like I said, I think drags along a little bit, but I think when it comes full circle through and throughout, really good movie. So, with that in mind, I would definitely have to give this movie a final score. I'll give it a 7. It's a good movie. I would definitely recommend watching it. If you're a Jim Carrey fan, you have to watch this movie because I think it's one of his better works that I've seen. And I've seen a good amount of Jim Carrey movies by now. So this is another really good piece, though, to that. So, with that in mind, though, that's going to do it for this movie review. If you've ever seen The Truman Show, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.